Hi, I'm Ngozi Okure. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If today is your first time here, you're welcome. Please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment for me below saying I subscribed, and I'll be so glad to connect with you. Now, in our last video, we discussed how to overcome the poverty mindset, and it was quite a very insightful and inspiring video. I encourage you, if you've not watched it, please find it and watch how to overcome the poverty mindset. Now, in the video today, we want to discuss another mindset. We want to discuss the consumer mindset. The consumer mindset. Now, and a very interesting story was told in the Bible of a young man who received an inheritance from his father, and he traveled into a far country, and we were told that he wasted what he received. He wasted his inheritance in reckless living. Now, if that young man had lived in the 21st century, we would have said that he had a consumer mindset. But unfortunately, so many people in the world today are still bound by that type of mindset. They are still bound by the kind of mindset that the prodigal son had, that makes people to waste all their earnings, to waste their inheritance. Now, okay, it is estimated that about 99% of the people in the world have money problems. About 99% of the people in the world have money issues, have money challenges. And this is in all the nations of the world. That leaves out only 1% of the people in the world who do not have any money challenges, no money issues at all. Now, money is a huge issue in our lives as human beings. It is said that, I think it is my pastor, Reverend Tonya Kiemi, will say that man is a food-dependent being. If you do not feed him well, he gets sick. And if you don't feed him at all, he dies. Man dies when he doesn't find food to eat. And the main thing that we use to secure the food we eat is money. Okay, so money is quite huge. It's a big part of our lives as human beings. That is why for a greater part of the hours of the day in our lives, a greater part of the hours of the day are spent working. We spend much of our time working to earn money. Now, even as students, we spent years of our lives going to school, preparing for careers that will enable us to earn money later in life. Now, but the sad reality is that we do all these things, earn the money, and we waste it all. That leaves us, just like the prodigal son, perpetually, year after year, being in lack of money. That shouldn't be. And that's why we are creating this video today. We want to examine the consumer mindset. What are the indicators of the consumer mindset? And how can we have a better mindset? How can we have the prosperity or the abundant mindset in place instead of the consumer mindset, so that we can be free from money challenges and be free from money issues, money problems, so that we can be amongst the 1% of the world who live their lives free from financial issues, from financial stress. Okay, that's why we are doing this video today. So let's look at the pointers, the various pointers to the fact that somebody has a consumer mindset. Now, the first thing you notice about people who have consumer mindset is that they do not know the laws of money. They do not know the laws of money. People who have consumer mindset most times are ignorant about the laws of money. You see, in life, there are laws that control everything. Life is controlled by laws. And if you know the laws that control any aspect of life, and you obey those laws, you comply with those laws, you will see that things will work in that area of your life. Now, that's how it is also with money. Money is called currency because it flows. And there are laws that control the flow of money. Now, when a man knows these laws, and understand these laws and obey these laws, you will see that money will flow to that person. But when a man is ignorant about the laws of money and goes about violating them, the person ends in the pig-pen zones of life. The person ends in the poverty zones of life, just like the prodigal son. Okay, that's why it's so important that we stay with this video, listen to it, and do all that we need to do so that we can know the laws of money and begin to comply with these laws so that money can begin to flow to us. Okay, when a man does not understand the laws of money, he enters into trouble, because it's just like gravity. That you don't understand the law of gravity doesn't mean that when you break the law of gravity that the consequences will not come. When somebody will say, I did not go to the university, I don't even understand the definition of gravity, therefore he jumps out from a high-rise building. He dies. Gravity doesn't know whether you are ignorant about the law or not. That's how it is also with the laws that govern the flow of money. When you are ignorant of them and you begin to violate them, you will suffer the consequences. And most times the consequences is that money will just dry up from the hands and from the wallet of such a person. But we don't want to go through life with empty pockets, with empty wallets. That's why we need to learn about the laws of money. Now, the second indicator that somebody has a consumer mindset is that they spend money on things that they do not need. They spend money on the things that they do not need. A man who has a consumer mindset spends money on things that they can do without. Okay, they spend money on things that they can do without. While preparing those videos, an incident came to my mind several years ago while back on campus. Okay, I was eating my food on a table alone. And there was a young man who was eating some tables away from me, and he was looking at me. Now, when he finished his food, he went and bought 2 bottles of drinks, and he came over to where I was, pulled a chair, sat down, and pushed one of the drinks to me. I didn't know him, so I turned down his offer. I said, no, thank you, I don't want. He said, you don't want to drink? I said, you don't want the drink? I said, yes. He said, I can finish 2. I found it funny. He said, I can finish 2. And the next thing, he pulled out a cigarette, lit the cigarette, and said, wait a minute, you just finished eating, why are you smoking? And he said, I just finished eating food which is solid. This is liquid. This is soft drink, it is liquid. I have to balance it with gas, the 3 states of matter. Funny as it may be, you will see that young man didn't need to spend the money on both the drink and the cigarette. Both of them have nothing whatsoever to add to him. Okay, I don't know, depending on the neighborhood where you live, you notice that most evenings you see young people, you see a lot of people gathered on tables with a lot of bottles, eating and drinking. Much of such eating and drinking could, it's just money spent on things that could be avoided, money spent on things that they can do without. So many people cannot, live with unbridled appetite. They just eat and drink, and even some of them can even eat themselves to sickness. Okay, I have a friend who works with a nursing home in US. He told me last week there was a particular woman that was brought into their home. They had to literally break the door so that she could enter. It was 911 that came to place her on the bed. That was how obese this woman is. And there are so many people who are living with obesity because they keep spending money on unbridled appetite. They buy this and buy that and buy that. That is even with food. With some people, you enter their closet, you begin to wonder what is happening. Some people have shoes that they might not wear for the next 5 years. Other people have clothes that they cannot wear for the next couple of years. But they keep buying. Why? They keep spending money because their consumer mindset induces them, inspires them to keep spending money on things that they can do without. Such excessive money, not such monies that are used to buy those things that they don't need, and monies that could be invested, that can yield them more money. Remember, the money that somebody uses to buy the things they don't need, the money that somebody spends buying drinks or buying clothes that they do not need are spent. But money that is invested keeps increasing. Okay, now the third indicator that somebody has a consumer mindset is that they eat their tomorrow food today. They eat their tomorrow food today. What does that mean? You see some young people who are still in the morning phase of their lives, and they will go and take loans to buy cars, to buy luxury cars. It's a different thing that somebody obtains a loan to buy a car, maybe to use it for Uber or use it for to earn money. But this one, they take loans to buy luxury cars that is not an asset but a liability in their hands. Okay, so there are so many people who are like that. They eat their tomorrow food today. The things they should have, if on a normal basis, things they should own in the next 5 years, they will take loans and obtain them. And you see somebody is going into the future and his money is mortgaged because he has taken loans and upon loans to buy stuff. Okay, that is not a good way to live, and that is one thing that most people who live with consumer mindsets do. Now, the next thing about people who have consumer mindsets is that they easily bow to cultural or societal influences. Okay, they bow to cultural or societal influences. These people, such people, they move with the fad. They move with the trend. A new iPhone is out and they must have it. A new wedding is taking place in the town, they must attend it. And to attend such weddings or to attend such parties, they will have to buy a new set of jewelry, new set of shoes, new set of handbags. Everything has to match. At the end of the day, much of the money they should use for investment is wasted. Okay, so they just buy things, the latest hairdo or the latest wig in town costs 500,000 naira or costs $500, and they must buy it. They'll buy it irrespective of the fact that they have no investment at all. But all the monies that they labor, remember what we say, so many people spend hours and hours and hours working, and then they earn this money and they waste it all. They just buy everything, that comes their way. At the end of the day, they have no investment, and year after year, they are in lack. Year after year, they are at the peak spend. That's not a good way to live. Now, the next thing is that people under consumer mindset are servants to money. You must have heard it said that money is a good servant but a terrible master. Now, people who are under the consumer mindset, they are servants to money, and this is terrible because they are just like slaves in the hands of money. Money drives them. Money pushes them to buy everything. Everything. And the thing is that manufacturers are busy using advertisements, to bombard people with the latest discoveries, the latest productions. And those people, money will inspire them. The people who are under money, the people that money drives, okay, we will continually be driven to keep acquiring, to keep buying, and they are like slaves in the sense that they are ever craving to buy new things. No contentment at all. The Bible says that godliness with contentment is great gain. It's a terrible thing to live without contentment, to always aspire to get the new thing. That's what happens to people with the consumer mindset. They are always aspiring to get the next thing, and they are never ever contented. And I said that it's a very miserable way to live. Okay, that is why we must pay attention. In the next few days, just look out for the next video that will be coming out, where we'll be discussing the prosperity mindset, the abundant mindset, so that we will know how to obey the laws of money and be in a position where we can control money, where money can be our servant, where money can be a tool in our hands, even for doing the right things. Okay, so thank you so much for being a part of this video. Now, if you got value from this video, I want you to subscribe to my channel if you've not done so before, and then please share the link with others. Let us share the link so that other people who are still under the influence of money, who are still under the influence of the consumer mindset, will learn and be in control of their lives. And at the description box, check for the link to my author's page in Amazon. You look out for my book titled The Gold in My Garden. In that beautiful book, I took my time to discuss the laws of money in details. It is one book that will do you a lot of good. Thank you once again. And until I come your way next time, please keep thriving.